a legal luminary and the political titan of our time. He is Honorable Babatunde Ogala, SAN, OFR, FNIM, FBR, FIMC. In the next 2 hours, our special guest will dissect both issues and explore the legal and constitutional provisions that underpins the crucial decisions taken by the president. My co-hosts for today are Honorable Jacob Ogushe, Haji Areki Abakar Bello, Honorable Udeme Ukwe, Honorable Shumbayewu, Barrister Tosin Olayinka, and Ambassador Kairat. They will be assisting me in moderating today's conference to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted deliberation. As you all know, this conference is streaming live across social media and especially on Ben TV, courtesy of the CEO of the first Nigerian and African TV digital channel, Alistair Shoyode. Thank you very much, sir, for your assistance always. Just looking through the conference today, I can see, as usual, we have new faces as well as our regulars. Thank you so very much for keeping faith with us. You are the reason why we keep what we do every week. It's not been easy, but each time we think of your support, for us, that is the tonic that we need to keep going. So for that, we remain ever so grateful to you. Thank you so much. Towards the end of the program, I will be announcing the presence of some of our stakeholders and our leaders across the globe. In the meantime, on behalf of the team behind the Renewed Hope Global, I welcome you all to this session. To kickstart the conference, please permit me to read out the profile of our special guest, who is Chief Babatunde Ogala, SAN. It goes thus. Honorable Babatunde John Kwame Ogala has emerged as a towering figure in Nigeria's legal and political arena. With a solid educational foundation in Lagos and legal training at the University of Jos and the Nigerian Law School, he was called to the bar in 1986 and quickly built a reputation as a brilliant legal mind. His professional journey spanned some of the country's most respected law firms, including Femi Okono SAN & Co. and GM Ibru & Co., and it included a notable tenure as General Counsel of the Guardian Press Limited. And in 1997, Ogala established his own law firm, which evolved into Babatunde Ogala & Co. in 2011, a firm widely respected for its excellence and legal precision. His political journey began with his election to the Lagos State House of Assembly, where he served with distinction as chairman of the House Committee on Judiciary and contributed to several key committees, including finance, public accounts, ethics, and infrastructure. His deep legal insight led to consultative roles with the Lagos State Assembly and the Conference of Speakers, influencing legislative agendas and encouraging institutional collaboration. In 2018, Ogala returns to the political spotlight as National Legal Advisor of the All Progressives Congress, APC, playing a pivotal role in navigating legal complexities during the 2023 presidential election, where his behind-the-scenes leadership and strategic legal counsel were instrumental to the party's success. He is highly regarded in professional circles. Ogala is affiliated with the Nigerian, African, American, and international bar associations and holds fellowships from prestigious institutions such as the Business and Insolvency Practitioner Association of Nigeria and the Institute of Management Consultants and Consultants. His outstanding contributions to the legal profession were recognized with the conferment of the title of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, in 2020. Babatunde Ogala remains a symbol of legal integrity, political wisdom, and public service. That's, in a nutshell, is the profile of our special guest for today. But I have just been reliably informed that he's still on his way to where he was meant to be keyed up for this conference. We should be expecting him in the next few minutes. But in the meantime, as is our custom here, the show goes on. So we will be throwing open the discussion today before our special guest comes on, because I believe the issue at stake here today are two issues that I believe is very close to Nigerians, both at home and in diaspora. There are contentious issues, and there has been so many discussions, both for and against, by the populace, where many Nigerians believe that those two actions were taken in good faith by the president, and that they were and he has the powers as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended to take those actions. But but on the other hand, there are some who are arguing that he's probably doing it as a political patronage because he has 2027 in mind. The question is, which side are you on? Do you believe that the president has the powers as enshrined in the Constitution to grant pardon to 175 people, even those whether it is those who have spent their time in jail, or those who are still there, or even for historical pardon that he did, one for the name just got off my head now. Sorry about that. I think it's just sign of the times now. Maman Vasa is one of them. Ken Saro-Wiwa and the other 9 from his area who were agitating for the cleanness of their area that has been bastardized by by Shell, all these petroleum companies who have destroyed their waters and stuff like that. Ken Saro-Wiwa was and still is an enigma as far as some of us are concerned, because all he was doing at the time was to fight for his people, and he was fighting for reparations for the damage that has been done to his area, to the Ogoni area. Some of these are the people that the president gave pardon to, and as far as we know, he has the he has the powers from as far as the Nigerian Constitution is concerned. I think in Section 175 that are given the powers to do all of this, and in doing so, of course, with any decision being taken by anybody in government, there's always that suspicion from the public, some section of the public, no matter what decision is being taken, whether it's for good or bad of the country. But then I don't think any leader, as far as I know, I don't think any leader will take any decision that he or she knows is not good for the country. So be that as it may, it's like I said, the fact remains that some people, no matter what the leadership does, there's always that suspicion about their intents or their intention regarding the actions being taken. So this is why I said before. I mean, we have the floor now for us to be able to discuss this issue whilst we wait for our special guest, because he will be the one to give us all the legal backings that the president has or does not have. He will have to clarify that for us when he joins us. But in the meantime, because like I said, it's like those issues are emotive issues that rubs people up, some the right way and some the wrong way. But the issue is, which side are you on? I would like to see some hands up for us to be able to discuss this issue, because this is what this platform is for us to be able to discuss issues that has to do with our country, because we all have a stake in the country called Nigeria, and whether good or bad, we have to have a say on what is going on, especially on issues like this, which, as far as we know, is very germane to the existence of or even to the future of our country, because some even classify what the president did as a way of cleaning up the mess of the past, so that the country can move on, and so that we can at least live in peace with each other. Because sometimes you don't forget that a lot of agitations that we've been experiencing from various parts of the country stems from historical happenings, things that have happened in the past that we've not been able to have a closure on, which is why some people believe now that what the president has just done now is his own way of putting a closure to some of these issues. Because when you have historical issues, not one, not two, not three, not four, especially with the issue of especially let's start with the INEC chairman, because whether we like it or not, when one chairman leaves at the expiration of his tenure, of course there has to be there shouldn't be a vacuum. I think that was why he had to hand over to a temporary chairman, but then the president, in his own infinite wisdom, decided to choose somebody else as a substantive chairman. Well, whether we agree with it or not, the fact now is that the National Assembly has now ratified that appointment. So, which means the appointment stands. But then that does not mean that we shouldn't still discuss it, because as far as I'm concerned, a lot of people have issues about it, either for or against. So that is the reason why we are bringing up today now that despite the fact that his appointment has been ratified by the National Assembly, we still have the right as Nigerians to be able to talk about it. So we will do all the jojoing now, whilst we are waiting for our guest, a special guest of honor. So and I think I've got a couple of hands up now. But I will let me, because I don't want to be the only one milking the limelight. As you all know, we have co-hosts. So let me call one of our co-hosts to take two of the questions. Then she'll hand over back to me. So let me call Ambassador Kairat Animashaun Ajiboye. Sorry, your name went off my head earlier on when I was introducing you. So Haji, sorry, Ambassador. I keep calling you Haji. Well, you Haji anyway. Yes. Ambassador Kairat Animashaun Ajiboye, you have the floor now to pick two of the three hands that we have up. The floor is still open for anybody who still wants to contribute to this issue. We have two issues on ground. We have the one with the appointment of the INEC chairman, and we have the presidential pardon for the 175 Nigerians by the president this week. Thank you so very much. So, Ambassador Kara, you have the floor now.
Thank you very much, Ambassador J.K. Adebola. Thank you so much. The first person to raise his hand here is Mr. Jamiu Aziz.
You have to introduce yourself. Now, only me sabi you. Other people don't sabi you.
Hello, everyone. My name is
Ambassador Kairat Animashaun Ajiboye. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm the Secretary, Renewed Hope USA. I've been around the struggle for quite a bit through APC, AC, ACN. We've done a lot to support our country and to support Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And we will continue to do our best to educate ourselves, to engage ourselves, and God help us all to make Nigeria better. Thank you. Yes. So going forward, I'd like to call on Mr. Jamiu Aziz, followed by Mr. Alhaji Adams A. Dowder, to ask your questions. Thank you.
Just to add to that, every participant has 3 minutes maximum, 3 minutes maximum to contribute to our discussion. Thank you very much.
Jamiu Aziz, please.
Let me ask him to unmute. You can unmute now. Yeah.
Good evening.
Yes,
good evening.
Good evening, Honorable J.K. Adebola.
Thank you,
sir. Good evening, the rest of the team of Renew Hope Global. My name is Jamiu Aziz. I speak from Ibadan right now, though normally join you from Lagos. I trust my president for any decision he takes to be in best interest of Nigeria. But there is this lot of emotions about some of the decisions government take, particularly this pardon issue. The other time when former President Buhari, God forgive him his sins, when he pardoned some governors that were convicted already, and even some of them served the J term. That was former governor of Plateau State and former governor of Taraba State. He raises a lot of questions that is similar to this. But this time around, my question to our elder and senior, very elderly one in the in the fold of the progressive, that is Honorable Ogala, son, would be to, is these things still reviewable? Because some of the story we heard from Attorney General of Federation credited to him is that they are still in the final stage. Do we need that number of 175 people? And the people they were populated, could it have been the intention of Mr. President to free that number of people, and some of them with some horrendous crime, so to say, just to use a word for the want of a better word? Because some crime like gun running, drug dealing, and some other stuff. So it can be so for the optics, and you know our emotion, no matter how strong we are about being reasonable, our emotion is still going to, because this pardon of a thing is prerogative of Mr. President. Everybody will expect Mr. President to use his prerogative appropriately, not to do a decision that will be misaligned with his own agenda in the eye of the people. So do we believe that? My question is that, is this thing final as have been announced? Can it be reviewed? Can it be better explained? Is there hand of the Esau? How do you call it? Some blacklegs who are fish columns, as they normally call them, who have infiltrated this very good intention of Mr. President and the taking opportunity of that pardon to do something that is not in the intention of Mr. President. We will appreciate Barrister Ogala's son to help us to clarify this, because anything we hear here, we believe we are hearing.
It looks like the 3 minutes is up, so apologies for that. Next, Ambassador Kairat.
Yes, the next question. Now, thank you for that, Mr. Aziz. Thank you for that. The next person is Alaji Adams A. Can you please unmute yourself, sir?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Hi, my name is Alaji Adams. I would like to just talk about the nomination of the INEC president. It's just a comment. Well, I mean, majority of the what has been discussed, the president have the right to appoint, as not to cause the vacuum, and that, as we seen this week, that has been ratified by the Senate, which have the authority to, vet and go through these nomination. So that, to me, I don't see there is much discussion that can go on once we've got a parliamentary people to support the president. So this has gone through now, and we should be looking forward to good administrations of management of the elections, the governorship election we have, and then the general election in 2027. There is a lot of things being posted on the internet which many people can fall for, because when there was one I read about his education background and all these things. So I think we won't have to be very, very careful to jump in the bandwagon. If you don't have enough information, don't follow it. Just wait and look at the critical factors. Yeah. Before you jump into the conclusion. The second part of the of the list of the people passed to the president for pardon. I understand there is a committee that have to, because I don't think the president know all of these people. I think there is a committee that's handling that. So I think if we have any question at all, this committee membership, which need to be, look at how they come to this conclusion. It have to be transparency. What make them make that decision on individual? Because if we are querying and say, why was this person who have commit this horrendous crime, right? Why? Yeah, because people go through parole in normal legal proceedings to get this kind of legal status. But what are the critical things that lead to this decision being made before this name being forwarded to the president? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alaji. We appreciate your contributions. Right now, I would like to yield to Ambassador J.K. Adebola. Ambassador J.K. Adebola, over to you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Ambassador Kairat, for that segment. The questions posed by Honorable Jamiu Aziz and Alhaji Dauda Adams has been noted. We will be passing it on to our special guest when it comes on. But be that as it may, regarding some of the, I'm just going to say a bit about what I know about the pardon. Is that like Alhaji Dauda said, this are list that was sent to the president by a committee, which I believe they've probably gone through all of the cases. And for some of them, especially one of the very one that jumped at people is the woman who killed her husband I think in Kano or somewhere in the north. From what I understand is that I think it's the father of the deceased himself who came out to plead on her behalf. And the reason he gave was that he cannot afford to lose his son and lose the mother to the children, to his grandchildren. I think it's more of a way of the man just trying to ensure that his grandchildren have the love of their mother around them that made him to. I don't think that would have been part of the equation if that plea did not come from the father of the deceased. Again, like I said, we can't cry more than the bereaved. If the bereaved is saying he wants her pardoned so that she can look after his grandchildren, I think it's like Ali Dawda said, the president has the prerogative of mercy as enshrined in the Constitution to pander to such requests or not to. But then he did on this occasion, because he's the father to all, he has decided to pander to that. Again, don't take my word for it. When our special guest comes, he will shed more light on that. But you see, the reason why I want us to discuss is because I know that a lot of us have opinions on this, because these two issues are issues that has been polluting the polity in Nigeria. And of course, because this is a platform where we always like to discuss issues that is affecting Nigerians on a daily basis. So that's the reason why we are, especially with the INEC chairman, even though it's been ratified, I still feel we have a right to at least discuss it. Even if you disagree with it, let us know what your points are, so that we'll take that on, we'll note that down and we'll pass it on to the presidency. Because what we are here for is to ensure that the powers that be knows or feels the pulse of Nigerians across the world. Because the Bible says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." So this is what we are doing here, is imparting knowledge to those who are making decisions on our behalf. Because sometimes their sight might be set high, above the low-hanging fruits, as it were. So we are the ones who sees the low-hanging fruits, and we are the ones who can point it out to them. So that's the reason why we are discussing these two issues. And I want everybody to participate. I've only seen one hand now, and we have a lot of people on this platform. I don't want us to wait, because if you wait for our man to be on the show before you start to speak, we may not have enough time to entertain your question. So that is why it is advisable for us now to speak now. So thank you so very much. So let me hand over to my next second co-host, is Barrister Tosin Olayinka. You have the floor now, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. My senior, and also Mr. Chairman, in person of Barrister J.K. Adebola. And I'm going to be taking the questions now, but I think our guest is live now, from where I can see. But before that, we have, I think, one person left having their hand raised. So I would like to call on Mr. Abiodun Issa to please come forward to ask his question. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Abiodun Issa. Permit me to sit on all existing protocol. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, in the US. I think I'm one of a great lover of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I would like to put my order to discuss my own little input about the state pardon that were given to the 175 convicted individual. And I believe for the president to make a decision, this idea went through the Presidential Advisory Committee on prerogative of mercy. These are people with high intelligence in verifications of facts and order before they were able to advise the president in making that decision. And for those who are making criticism is part of what we have to live with. And I believe if they don't criticize our president, we won't be able to know the actual things that we are doing right. For president to have been able to give pardon to those past leader like Abat Macaulay, Major General Mama Vasta, the Ogoni Nine, Farouk Lawal, and the most questionable Mariam Sanda issue. These are people that they are convicted, but majority of them are, well, even when you perform anything, what every one of us wanted in life, say no more. Majority of these people have went through series of societal changes, therapy sessions, and they paid most of the prices as well too. Not until when they die before we now start looking down on their lives and all that. They need to move on as a human being as well too. And we need to we need to engage people to understand that convicted fellow peoples are not as worse as not being repenting. We all do one thing or the other that are wrong in our life, and we seek for forgiveness. If a president of a nation take a decision to forgive certain set of people, then it means we ourselves within our own life, we should live to always forgive. It's just like a regular message to every Nigerian. And for the issue of the new appointed chairmen of INEC, for those who are criticizing the man, the fake news and all those who are out there, if they have the time to listen to the presentation in the house, you can see the quality of the kind of person that's coming on board to come and paddle that kind of establishment. And people are criticizing that kind of person. So who do we want to lead that kind of institution without having somebody that has gone through that kind of process in life, being the best student? He has several awards and everything that he has gotten even while he was younger and all that. So for me, we need to just continue to engage ourselves so that most of Nigeria will now understand the directions in which the president is leading the country to. And lastly, I will want anybody that has the opportunity to go through my recent article that I just did on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's called Tinubuology, Deconstructing the Tenacity, Leadership and Transition Ideology of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is online. So if you ask, anybody can just read about it. There are several recommendations and everything that I made over there. Thank you. That's my little contribution.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Abiodun Issa, for your great submission. I want Honorable Felix Adewale Ajayi to get ready, but please, before that, I would like to yield the floor back to Ambassador J.K. Adebola. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Barrister Tosi. Before I introduce our special, because I've been rightly informed that our special guest now has joined the conference. The last speaker mentioned a write-up that he said he wrote about our president. Could you please put the link on our chat room for for Nigerians across the world to to have a glimpse of it, because it's very important when we have some kind of write-ups like that is very educative. It's very important that people get to read it. So please put it on the chat room for us to see. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I've been rightfully informed that our special guest has joined the conference. Even though we've read his biography and everything before he came, he's now here. I would like to introduce him and fire the first question that was fired by one of our participants, including my own questions at him, so that we'll set the ball rolling from there. So, Your Excellency, sir, thank you so very much for being part of it. We know we had some
Thank you very much.
Problems. Thank you for being here regardless. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You see, now this is what we keep saying about our leaders. They are always there to every time we knock on their doors. Even though he had some kind of challenges, he assured me he would be here, and now he's here. So I never doubted him when he said that. So that was why we said the show must go on. So thank you so very much, sir, for being part of it. So before you came on, one of our participants, Honorable Jamiu Aziz, was asking if the list of the presidential pardon for the 175 is a final list. It was asking if there will be a review. And he's asking that question on the ground that he feels there are certain people on that list who have committed some heinous crimes. And he feels perhaps maybe they shouldn't have been included in the list. But then, before you answer that, sir, I will have to add my own 2 questions to it, because that was what I was supposed to start the meeting.
Here?
Yeah.
Hello?
So, yes, sir.
Sorry, like I said, I'm at the airport waiting for my luggage, and I'm just using the airport Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Maybe that's why it's breaking. So I apologize.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be here as early as 2:30 and be settled, but the flight was delayed for 4 hours.
Wow.
And here I am at the airport,
waiting
and just picking from the luggage, where I'm waiting to get the luggage. So the question that you had said you were going to, I didn't get the question, but I think the network went for a brief. But let me just, as a general overview of the issue, especially about the pardon and clemency, as well as a commutal of sentences. In that matter, there were 3 different issues. And I want to say, with all sense of responsibility, that only 6 living persons were pardoned. The others are Diogoni 9 and Abat Macaulay and Vatsa, who have who were granted posthumous pardon. And even of those who were pardoned, there are persons who have also completed their sentences, not necessarily persons who are in prison. And let me also say on the clemency, the prison system as it is in Chooks, it's both punitive and reformatory, because we seem to concentrate more on the punitive angle, forgetting that it's also reformative. And reasons were given for the actions that were taken for those who were granted clemency. Another thing I want us to note is that Section 175 that grants the president the powers does also not grant him absolute powers. He is supposed to take this to the National Council of States for ratification and approval before he can even go ahead. And who are the members of this body? They include the past presidents and heads of state of this country. They include past chief justices, past and present presiding officers of the National Assembly, as well as all the state governors. The president indeed took this list to them, and they approved his action. There have been some misinformation. We must be careful when there is mischief, especially when a section of the media elects to say he pardoned or granted clemency to drug dealers. Yes, we know marijuana is classified as a drug. Most of those persons are persons who were convicted and sentenced for possession of marijuana and who were sentences of between 4, 3, and 5 years, and between year 2002 and 2003, because these were all facts that were stated. Many of them even just have a few months to go. And the same for those that were classified as illegal minors, who had sentences of 3 to 5 years and had served as much as 2/3 or 4/5 of the sentence and were asked to go home. And what were the reasons? The reasons were clearly stated. Many had acquired skills. Some had gone to the university, even up to postgraduate level, to the National Open University. And this is reformative and based on the advice of the persons who have custody of these convicts who are in the custodial centers. It was based on the advice of the correctional centers that the Committee on Prerogative of Mercy also made a recommendation to the president, who in turn, as constitutionally required, took it to the National Council of States, which subsequently approved. I'm also not unconscious of the general outcry, especially on the issue of Miriam Sanda and 1 or 2 others. And like the Attorney General has said, well, mistakes may have been made. One thing we give to the administration is that it is listening. And like the Attorney General of the Federation has said, they are also further reviewing. It is not absolute, and that none of the persons mentioned has been actually been released or from the custodial centers. So we should give the process the opportunity. If mistakes were made, I'm sure they will be corrected. And if not, the Attorney General will certainly address the issues and explain the reasons. They have explained this in the press release by the presidency. They explained the reason for every decision taken, including the man in Umuahia prison who was released after spending 36 years on the death row, and some who were on the death row and were commuted to life imprisonment. So, I mean, there are reasons for this. When they have been reformed, some were even pleased. Like the issue of Miriam Sanda, the father of the man that was murdered also came up to appeal, and maybe on compassionate grounds. But one thing that is not in doubt, the president has powers subject to approval by the National Council of State to grant pardon, clemency, or commutation of sentence to anybody, except, of course, except those whose matters are still undergoing judicial process and adjudication. So it's unfortunate that we've made so much noise about the issue, and it's quite also unfortunate that some people are now politicizing it and almost using that opportunity to say somebody who is still on trial should also enjoy the same privilege.
Well, thank you so very much, sir, for clearing that up.
Okay, let me see. Like I said, I'm standing at the airport, like you can see in the background as I say this. So that's why I'm trying very hard to pack so much into the little time before I go offline again.
Okay.
Look,
Oh, thank you. So I think you've cleared so many of the so many doubts in people's minds with that response, because the question was very direct and your responses to it was even more direct and more vast, because you touched on certain areas that wasn't even part of the question that was asked. So for that, we remain very, very grateful, sir. So maybe before you go, I think even the question I was going to ask you, you've answered some of it, but I'm going to ask anyway, because my first question, because I wanted to ask you a double-barreled question, which is predicated on the back and forth arguments that has followed both the appointment of the INEC chairman and the grant of pardon. because I was going to ask you whether the president has the powers backed by the Constitution, and you have already answered that. And I was going to ask you because I know even if the Constitution grants him that power, the Constitution would have enumerated the processes that needed to that he needs to follow. And I was going to ask if that has been followed. And from your explanation now, you have already cleared all of those. So for that, I think I'm so grateful that despite the challenges that you have now, being in the waiting in the baggage waiting hall, you're still able to tune in. So thank you so very much, sir, for that. Before you go, let me just check if we still have more questions from our.
I think let me address the issue of the INEC chairman.
Yes, sir.
Which again, there has been a lot of misinformation about who the man is, especially by the section of the media that gave the impression that the man was a member of the presidential legal team. Yeah. As a lawyer, I think I must say this: you can ask for anybody. By our training, Ambassador, I'm happy you're also a lawyer, along with Mr. Olayinka. And you know, the law does not debar you. We can act for anybody. Even I can act for Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar tomorrow. That is what we call my professional sovereignty. It does not color my thoughts or anything. Or else, if we are going to be thinking along those lines, nobody will ever hold a public office because you would have taken some positions on some matters at a certain time or the other. INEC, for instance, even the lawyers in INEC, when PDP is the winner of an election, they defend the PDP mandate. And when it is APC, they defend the APC mandate. So are we then going to say they are permanently biased against one party or the other? But coming to Professor Amukpito, I put together, and I'm saying this publicly here, I've said it, I've issued a statement. I was the one who coordinated the presidential legal team, and I engaged every lawyer on that team. Every lawyer, and I'm saying that here, I engaged everybody. We had about 60 senior advocates and 60 members of the outer bar. Professor Amukpito was not in our legal team. He was not. And to also say this, Professor Amukpito and I attended the same university. I think he came 2 or 3 years after we had graduated. He graduated about 2 or 3 years after us. Are we then going to say that everybody that has attended in the same university or attends the same church with an APC member or a PDP member must be biased? Hell no. Professor Amukpito, distinguished scholar, a man of honor and high integrity. And like he said at the Senate, he has given you a hint of the reforms he's going to make. I know he was painstakingly chosen by the president after consultation. The president didn't know him from Adam. He didn't. I can say that for free. Yeah, he didn't know him from Adam. He was, of course, some people have to recommend, and he was seriously scrutinized by even the security agencies before the president. And for those who know President Tinubu, before he will give his nod, hey, and you too will know that, yes, you have to go, you are almost going through an uphill task. So that the lie about him being a member of the legal team is incorrect, is untrue. He never was, whether directly in court or consulting or in any capacity, but albeit eminently qualified and a man of honor and high integrity for the position of INEC chairman. And of course, he has faced the Senate, so this may be belated. He has faced the Senate, and Senate has found him worthy. And again, let me also say this. Before he was appointed, again, as provided by the Constitution, the president took his nomination to the National Council of State, which also again gave its go ahead. So it's not just the president alone. He also had the National Council of State, which includes all past presidents and all governors whom are also members of other political parties. And they all gave their consent because they saw in the man a good man and a fit person to occupy the position of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Thank you so very much, sir, for busting that bubble there. Because my fear when I started reading about all of this is that these people who fund the ember of disunity after they lost at the 2023 election, they are at it again. They are now trying to collect some kind of false evidence now that they will use at the 2027 election. So this coming out now from you, sir, who is the head of the legal team of the presidential legal team at the 2023 elections. I think this speaks volumes now, and I think everybody who heard this today, we can now all go to town now and to let the whole world know that anybody suggesting that the new INEC chairman was a member of the presidential legal team is a lie from the pit of hell. We need to
You may lose me in another few minutes, so.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
I'm moving out of the hotel now. Out of the airport.
Okay, so let me just hand over quickly to my.
Again.
Okay, sir. Okay, I guess maybe I would just say maybe we'll allow you to sign off now, sir, so that then you can join us when you are back at the hotel, which I believe is probably going to be in the next 15 minutes, sir, or thereabout. Oh, okay. Looks like it's gone already now. So I think as far as I'm concerned, he has dealt with so many.
Where are we waiting for the ball?
He's dealt with so many of the questions and the doubts in the minds of so many people. But like I said earlier on, I was a bit worried when the issue started coming up, even though I knew at the time that it was a lie. But then you know the problem with Nigerians. There's this saying that when you allow a lie to fester for too long, it will begin to morph into the truth. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to put that as part of our discussion today, so that the truth can be open to the whole world to know that this man was not part of the legal team of the president at the last 2023 elections. Because it's like I said earlier on, the reason why these people are bringing this up is because they are trying to give themselves some kind of alibi if in the event that they lose at the next election, so they can say, we said it, that the man that was put at the INEC chairman was one of the guys who are part of the legal team of the president. So we now know that the man, because our special guest today, he at the time was at the head of the legal team of our president. I
was the coordinator of that team, and I put it together.
Yes. Up to the Supreme Court, where they all lost. They all lule from the appeal court up to the Supreme Court. So now we've had it now, so that if in the run-up to the next election they start to bring that nonsense up, we all know now that it's a lie from the pit of hell. So let's, in our own little way, start to knock it off every time they bring that kind of silly argument up. Because sometimes this is one of their tactics for them to discredit whatever elections that they lose, because the only election that is credible to certain people is the one that they won, but the ones that they do not win, as far as they are concerned, has been compromised. I think we need to educate ourselves to get to the level where a loser will lose gallantly and accept defeat and get on to work for the next election, because that is why they keep losing every now and then, because when they were supposed to go back to the drawing board to look at what made them to fail at last election, they were busy castigating the INEC chairman, calling him all sorts of names. But before they know what's going on, another 4 years is around the corner, and when they lose again they go to another cycle of blame game. So this is their mantra, and for me, I feel we should. Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned, is too big for any one person to think he has the monopoly to want to foment trouble or to want to be the one who has the last say as far as the country is concerned, because it belongs to all of us, and we all have a stake in the country. And believe it or not, we will defend the integrity and the sanctity of our country. May God help us. So, Honorable, sorry, let me just use the floor now to my co-host again, because we will continue to discuss this issue, and anybody who puts their hands up and ask a question now, those questions will be noted down, just like we did for Honorable Jamiu Aziz, where we put his question to our special guest. As soon as he gets to his hotel, we will fill the question back to him, and he will deal with it. So please bear with us. Sometimes these things happen. As you can see, even though he was still at the airport waiting for his luggage, he still managed to log on and to answer our questions. So I think that says a lot about the kind of leadership that we have in this country. And I keep saying it every now and then. We should ask people to keep off knocking our leaders, because we have a crop of leaders now who are very receptive, who are always there, who are always ready to answer when we call on them, and they're always ready to engage on any topic whatsoever. We've just seen it now. So thank you so very much, sir. Honorable Babatunde Ogala, once again. We will see you as soon as you get back to your hotel. So, Barrister Tosin Olayinka, you have the floor now. We need to see more hands up, because, like I said, if you are waiting for the special guest to come back before you put your hands up, you may not have the chance to ask your question, because once it is 8 o'clock, we ask. You're still okay. Good. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Oh, yeah. Fire on quickly.
All right. Thank you very much, our distinguished guest and our senior. We really appreciate you so much. Out of your tight schedule, you still try, to also attend to what we are doing here. We are very grateful for that, sir. Now, I would like to move on to Honorable Felix Adewale Ajayi. Please, you have the floor now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to our guest, SAN Babatunde Ogala, our boss, our leader, and to our ambassadors coordinating the program. I was just going to tell him that Barrister Ogala is still very much on with us, but it's like he got carried away and keep on talking. If he has checked those who are still online, even as I'm speaking, you could see visibly that Barrister Ogala is still on. Anyway, he has answered some of my initial question. I just believe the president does not know everyone that was given a pardon or amnesty or whatever to. He must have relied on the committee. I just want him to explain, to tell us, when that list was submitted to the president, does that list ever pass through the Attorney General of the Federation before going to the presidency? Because now the Attorney General is saying they are going to have a review. Does that list initially? I know.
Felix, before I think you need not go too far on that.
Okay.
The Attorney General never at any point denied knowledge of that list. So I think we need to be careful here. The kind of the word we say and the insinuation we want to draw.
Okay.
The Attorney General is the chairman of the Committee on Prerogative of Mercy. He is the chairman. And he would have that list, like I said, it must have come from the correctional centers, the prisons, that made the recommendations to them. And the committee too may have been convinced about the reasons adduced. And it was after that they advised the president. And the president then took it, because it will appear you didn't listen to me when I said the president took the list to the National Council of States, which consists of all past presidents, all past and serving chief justices, all past and serving Senate presidents and speakers, and all the state governors. And they had a meeting, and it was tabled before them. And they approved it for the president. So the fact that the public reacted the way it did does not mean they did not go through due process. But of course, there may be superior arguments. And if the government is a listening one, it can then decide to review. So we need to be careful when we ask the question if it passed through the Attorney General. I mean, that will appear to try to be an indictment. If there is a public reaction and the government decides to do a review, what is wrong with that? I think what we should do is to even commend the Attorney General, commend the President for wanting to take a second look I mean, if the president was to say, would have said, I've done it and I've done it. And they have done it based on the advice of the National Council of States. So if they say they've done it, and that is to be it. But he said, based on reactions, we want to take a second look. And I think that you should commend, rather than asking if it went through him at all before it went through to the president. It certainly did. And he has not at any point denied knowledge of that list or denied being responsible for advising the president on it.
Thank you, sir. Understood. Many thanks.
Wow, thank you very much, sir. I'm not sure if you have other individuals with questions or submission. Okay, on this note, I would like to yield the floor back to our chief host, in person of Ambassador J.K. Adebola. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Barrister Tosin Olayinka. I think we've had it from the person that knows that sometimes I think the issue there is the kind of insinuation that question would have brought up in the minds of people listening. I think that was what Honorable Ogala was trying to address there, because sometimes people tend to misconstrue whatever is being said, especially in a public forum like this. So that is why sometimes we have to be very careful how we word our questions and all that. Because, like, I remembered in some of the write-ups that I read regarding the list, like Honorable Ogala did said, the Attorney General is the chairman of the Committee for the Prerogative of Mercy, and they were the ones who, based on the recommendations of the heads of the correctional center where these people were held, they were the ones who gave those reports. And of course, you would not expect that committee to second guess the report that was given to them, because they were not there at the correctional centers. It is the heads at the correctional centers who have been living with those in incarceration on a day-to-day basis. They know whether they have been reformed whilst they were there or not. So, based on the recommendations that they gave to the committee, that is what they worked on, and they passed. Of course, they have to look at certain things there, but then it's like I said, they cannot second guess this report unless there is some kind of the only thing that will have brought some kind of second guessing on those issues is if somebody somewhere has written maybe a petition against those reports. But if that is not the case, I don't think the committee will want to second guess the reports that they got. They will have to take it on face value and recommend what they will recommend to the president. And like he said, the president does not know anyone out of any of these people. So the issue of him now paying some kind of patronage for some people because of the 2027 election, for me is complete BS, for want of better words to describe it, because it's like I said, it's just another way of the opposition trying to give themselves some kind of alibi before the next election, because they know they're going to lose. So they are now more or less now fishing for excuses to give, just like some people who won a whole region thought they've won the whole country, so simply by winning the one region out of 6 geopolitical zones. So these are some of the things that is playing out in our politics today, and that is why for those of us progressives, we need to be on our guards every day. And that was why I was saying that whatever we heard from our press special guest today is something that we should take out there to counter any warped narratives from any quarter regarding this issue and any other issue that has to do with the 2027 election, because everything that is playing out now is geared towards the 2027 election. Even though INEC is yet to blow the whistle for campaign, don't forget the campaign has started, and that was why you see some coalition left, right, and center. Certain people jumping ship, without a rudder or whatever, or whatever it is. So it is all a game to some people, because politics is a game to some people in this country, whether we like it or not. They see it as a game. They say like a chess game that they can play at their own will. But then they forget that Nigeria is a very large country that is populated by so many tribes, so many languages, so many cultures, and all of this come into play when it comes to the politics of the country, and that is what certain people forget. And I guess maybe that is what our president understands, and that's why he's been called a tactician, a political tactician, because he understands the game and is what the Yorubas would call a dakeja, somebody who is silent, a silent warrior. He will be silent, looking at the whole thing, and when he makes his move, like in the chess, it becomes a checkmate, and everybody will be wondering, where the hell did that come from? But what they forget was, when they were busy shouting in the marketplace, the man was quietly just watching the whole scenario and plotting his moves left, right, and center. I mean, this was somebody who's been out of government for over 20 years, right? And those who have been players in the political circles all those years, they fought him together, they lost, and at the second round they scattered, and yet they were expecting, to win. But I mean, if you cannot win a man as a strong one force, what makes you think that you can win when everybody's gone their separate ways? So these are some of the facts that's lost on certain people, and it's so unfortunate that some Nigerians buy into their lies, and that is what is troubling me. I don't mind them playing their shenanigans every now and then, because certain people are known. I think we had a program here when ADC was formed, where there were certain issues that are raised at the time, when people were saying there could be a thorn in our flesh, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so, because when you look at the antecedents of every single one of them, I think I enumerated it. One of them told us, when he was a military man here, that mobile phone is not for everybody in Nigeria. No, telephone was not for everybody in Nigeria. He told us publicly, and up to today, he has never denied it. Now, he was Senate president for 8 years, I believe. What did he do with the Senate presidency? His people in his own in his locality didn't even feel his presence there. Yet, he's not coming now wearing the toga of a savior. Yeah, another one was the vice president for 8 years. You see, I've written something about this before, and I'll repeat it here today. Many of our youth who are shouting against power today, they forget. This is the problem we have in Nigeria, that we have this selective amnesia. This was a man who sold all the infrastructures in the country when he was the vice president. He sold it for cheap.
Ambassador Bola, let me
Yes.
just come in here. You see,
Yeah.
the other day, look, even coming back, the other day, our brother and our friend, who is unfortunately on a journey to nowhere now, the erstwhile governor of Osun State and Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola. Was even talking about INEC, and he said the political parties, all the political parties who have representation in the National Assembly should collectively appoint a chairman. I was a little bit embarrassed if that was a confused statement, because I think the Aberegbe I used to know, at least when he was with us, was certainly far more intelligent than that, that he would be suggesting that the president subverts and circumvents the constitutional provision and create his own law to go and say, okay, I don't want to follow constitutional provisions for the appointment of a Senate of an INEC chairman. I want to go through what the constitution does not say. If the president had done such a thing, these are the same people who will rush to court. I'm just buttressing the fact that they are just playing cheap politics. We've talked about the past Senate president. People forgot who said the telephone was not for the poor and it was not for everybody.
Yeah.
He did say that. The erstwhile vice president, between him and his president, I think the book My Watch are still being circulated. Yeah. And his boss that he worked with, the then president, said some very terrible things about him. Up till today, he has not countered it. He has not gone to court to sue him for libel. And whatever is written, unless he has come up to say, I give a rebuttal, it is not so. It's a true reflection of who he is. And that is who President Obasanjo described. That is the man who is providing, who also provide alternatives. I mean, a man who pretended over $16 million spent on power, $16 billion, nothing to show for it. Need we talk about the ongoing and never-ending Mambila? Need we talk about the port concession? Do we need to talk about Intel that was taking away, that was practically taking away all our income from the ports until this was withdrawn? This is the man who had even said publicly that if you elect me president, I will sell the government assets not to the public. He says to his friends.
Yeah.
He said so. I mean, these are the kind of people who are now coming back to pontificate about good governance. True, we know they cannot be happy about removal of fuel subsidy, where a lot of them were benefiting and profiteering. We know they cannot be happy about the foreign exchange, about the FX, where many of them were also the racketeers that were benefiting from the subsidized naira dollar subsidy, as it was then, which was just a cesspool of corruption. Of course, those who benefited from that can certainly not be happy with the president. Rather than ask what the president has done with the economy, where is the economy today, the governors, you now wonder why all the governors are identifying. There's hardly any governor that is criticizing the president today, not for anything. What is the president going to give to a president to get him over? But every president has said they had never had it so good. They have never had it so good. They have more money for infrastructure. They have, they can pay salaries. Our friend who said INEC should be, I mean, my erstwhile friend and brother who said INEC chairman should be appointed by. We know for how long he couldn't pay salaries. And we know the role this president played in assisting other states to assist him to pay salaries of the states over which he superintended. We know what it was, the education crisis in that state. We can go on and mention these persons one after the other. My brother and my friend, Nasir El-Rufai, is a man I'm very reluctant to criticize because whichever way it is, we can also not forget the role he played in the ascension of this president winning that elections. But again, for him, I believe, well, he might be unhappy about certain things, but he's just a man who ideally should find his way back to where he rightly belongs because he was part of the making of this government. All other persons on that list, including our brother Rauf, were certainly persons who were in opposition to the president, other than Nasir El-Rufai. Almost all others. Is it my friend Bidi Lawal? I mean, what are they bringing on board? What really are these persons bringing on board? I mean, they said they formed a coalition. The coalition, after they hijacked a party, thereafter what next? They should learn from this president who from a one governor party in Britain, after the Obasanjo abracadabra, built the opposition back to where it is today, not running from party to party. That is escapist. Those are not the kind of people you want to hand over your country to. Where if the economy of the country goes bad, rather than tackle it, they will decamp to Cameroon and say they are no longer Nigerians because they've been decamping from party to party when the extra party fails. So if the economy of Nigeria runs into a problem, I'm sure some of them will decamp to Cameroon and say they are no longer Nigerians. Those are not the kind of people we want to hand over power to. And that is our advice to Nigerians. As much as they come hitting hard, I think we should also tell them and remind Nigerians, especially our young people, who these characters are. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for that elaborate expose. Because
but you know, give me for this.
This is what we have been saying all along. Especially on that program I was talking about earlier on, because we had to. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. It looks like you're still on. Your mic is still on. We can still hear you on the ground, sir.
Oh, please mute me.
Okay, let me have a look. can't find him
It's
again.
done, sir. It's done.
It's gone. Oh.
Yes, it's done.
No, it's still on. Okay, yeah.
No, I mean,
It's been done. Okay. Oh, thank you. You know, because we said a lot about all of them. I think most of the things that he said here was the same thing we said, and which I believe we should be reiterating every now and then to let Nigerians know who these characters really are. At least the former vice president even boasted that what is wrong in him reaching his friends. We have the videos. We have the video where he said that they awarded the contract, pay 100% of the contract upfront. The job was not done. And the lady who was interviewing him said, and nothing was done to the contractors? And he said, yes. I looked at him on that day. I thought maybe the man was bewitched, because I was thinking, could his intellect be that low for him to be answering such questions like that, or for him to be talking like that? But then sometimes God has a way of making people to expose themselves to the world. Those videos are there. Those videos are what we will be playing when the campaign starts, because you cannot do all of this, commit all of these atrocities. And like I was saying earlier, the young ones in this country does not know that the lack of jobs that is happening in this country now was caused by Atiku when he was the vice president, because he was the one who sold all the viable infrastructure that we had in this country to his friends, and he sold it for cheap. And guess what? 70% of those infrastructures are now moribund with the attendant job losses that came with it. Millions of jobs were lost because of that. And he's the man again who is now trying to wear the toga of a savior in this country, the country that he played a major part in destroying. You see, these are the issues. And what worries me is the fact that Nigerians don't ask questions. They take everything that they are being told hook, line, and sinker. That was why when somebody said Buhari was cloned, even some educated people bought into that kind of foolishness. I saw a video yesterday when somebody, I think maybe he's in America or something like that, when he said he was questioning the mentality of those who believe that Asiwaju's certificate was forged and that he has no certificate at all. And the man said he mentioned the company he worked for, an American company, and he said from his own experience, you cannot work with any of these companies without them going through all your certificates, including right from your primary school days. So for Asiwaju to have worked in those companies as a top management staff, not one, not two companies, American companies, and yet somebody will come and tell you that he has no certificate and you believe that, then obviously something is wrong with some people. And that was why I said people believe they swallow everything they were told like a hook, line, and sinker, because we don't ask questions. And when you ask questions, they look at you like a madman. Because I remember a couple of times when I go to Nigeria and I ask questions, sometimes even my own relations will be looking at me as if I'm crazy. And I'm like, you don't just take anything that anybody just throws at you like that. You need to ask questions. It is in asking questions that you learn. By not asking questions, you are making yourself a prey to anybody who's trying to manipulate you. And before you know what's going on, they'll begin to play with your head, and you begin to believe a lie. You know, these are things that's going on. So I just hope that with this platform that we set up now, where truths are being unearthed, we will be able to go to the market and educate those out there about some of the lies that are being told. Now, when the president came in, one of the things I keep saying to people is this: during the campaign, all the three major party leaders, major presidential candidates, both the president, Obi, and Atiku, they all promised they were going to remove subsidy immediately. Those were the words they said. Even though Obi denied it later on, but then the video where he said it was played out to the world to see, that he actually said that he was going to remove the subsidy immediately. And that was what the president did. And he created palliatives to cushion the effect of it. And he told us, immediately he said it, that things are going to get tough. But if you watch the video that we play every day before our program here, there was a place where he was saying, we will turn things around. He said it with so much gusto that I believe him. He said, we will turn it around. That he said he can see a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, what is playing out now? After all the being power scenarios that we had throughout last year, things are beginning to improve now, which was what the man said at the time, that he was sure that he would turn things around, that he could see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that was what we have been advocating every time to our people, that look, be patient, be patient. I think I made an idea of somebody who's a pregnant woman, that when the woman is about to give birth, she has to go through pain. I'm sure our women on this program will understand what I'm talking about here. You cannot give birth unless you go through child labor. So, and I liken what Nigeria is going through now as a woman going through child labor. And as soon as she has the baby, she forget about all the pain. You know, if you sit with a woman in the labor room, you never want to near her again, when she'll be raining curses on her husband and stuff like that. But guess what? As soon as she has the baby, she'll be the first to to be making eye at the man again. She wants another one. Again, I believe a couple of weeks ago, I was making an analogy about somebody who was diagnosed with cancer. I was talking about the situation in Nigeria, and I remember I said that Nigeria's case is like somebody who was diagnosed with cancer, and the only option for him to get better was to go through surgery. But of course, they will tell you all the side effects and stuff like that will come with it. And Nigeria did not like that. Yeah, they prefer Sunday Daraprim, painkiller, so to speak. And forgetting that painkiller that they are giving to you will not cure the issue. It's just going to numb the pain for a while, and the pain will come back again, which was what I've been saying all along, that we've had two retired generals as president of this country. People who, by their military training, should be the ones to weather the storm no matter what. But none of them could do what a bloody civilian is now doing. This bloody civilian president that we have now is the one who is doing what retired generals couldn't do, because they were afraid of what the kind of blowback that this president is getting now. They didn't want it at the time, but this man said, look, I want a legacy for myself. I want this country to get better. But then in getting better, we have to go through something. Because you cannot go from Kano to you cannot go to Lagos from Kano without passing through certain towns. Now that is what this country is passing through now. But thank God now that at least we are 2 years down the line now, we are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel, like the president promised. So it's just a matter of time. I believe that by the time we get to the 4th year, things will have normalized so much so that the next election will be more or less like a walkover for us, if all things being equal. If we all rally around and make sure that we do the needful as far as the country is concerned, because that is what the president is doing now. Whether some people like it or not, things has to be done the hard way to get the country back on track. And we are beginning to, and for World Bank and some other world educational world financial body now to be praising the policy of this government, I think that says a lot. And I don't want us to lose sight of all of that, because as far as I'm concerned, that says so much about the willpower of the man that we have at the helm. He may not be getting everything right, because he wouldn't be human otherwise. He's human, and sometimes he will get things wrong. And he has shown over and over and over again that he is heading a listening government where there are need for them to review their policies. They've been known to do that, and I think we need to give them their flowers. Their flowers for that, because there was a time in this country when we had a government who, whatever they say goes, whether you like it or not. You can go jump in the lake; they don't care. But then we have a government now who the only time you see this president stick to what he's doing is when he believes that what he's doing is for the betterment of the country. That is when you see him stick to it. But if it's something that he thinks, oh, maybe if I change or soften this or whatever, it might still achieve the same goal that he has in mind. Yes, he's been known to to review things. So I think for that reason, that is why people like us keep supporting him. And I think a couple of times that I've appeared on TV, that's what I keep saying, that for as long as he continues on this trajectory, we'll continue to support him. Where they make mistake, we'll have our channels. What we don't do is go public and start mouthing off. Because when you go public like that, you are giving the opposition the power to knock you off. Of course, we have our channels where we talk to them to let them know, look, this has to be done. A couple of people talk to us privately on what they see as a couple of days ago. One of my uncles called me and said to me certain things that he saw that is not going right, and I said, okay, don't worry, we will pass it on. I think that is our civic duty as progressives who has the love of the country at heart. That it's not going to be praise singing all the time, but where you see something that's going wrong, what I will not subscribe to is for people like us who are meant to be supporting the government to be going public with it. There are channels where we can air our views on issues that we see that are not going right. Let's follow all those channels. Let's because believe it or not, for at least if nothing, many of us know from this program that all the leaders that we have now, they are receptive to the yearnings of Nigerians. That is why a special guest of today could link up with us even while he's at the airport waiting for his luggage, and he spoke to us for almost an hour now. And he's going, as soon as he gets to the hotel now, he's going to call us again to speak to us. So this for me is a mark of leadership that likes to feel the pulse of its people, and they have that human feeling, and they make sure that they want this country to progress. It is not just for the few, but for the many, because it is when you make many people in the country happy, that is when the country will progress. Because all we've had all along was, especially with the issue of the removal of the subsidy. Do you know what I find so funny was? This issue of the fuel subsidy made me to learn a lot about the Nigerian elites. Because I remembered when Buhari was in government, a lot of these elites were coming on TV to tell us that this fuel subsidy must be removed, and they gave us a litany of reasons why that should be the case. But guess what? As soon as it was removed, the same elites, at least I can count 1, 2, 3 up to 10 of them, who at that time was talking about removal, who have now changed tunes, who are now saying people are suffering, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, what would you expect the government to do? Because to start with, the president had no choice at the time he announced the removal, because Buhari made sure that there was no provision for subsidy beyond June of 2023. Go and do your research very well. He made sure that there was no provision for fuel subsidy from June 2023. So the president had no choice. He had to remove it. So it was a case of remove it and think of what to do about it later. And immediately he did that. He started doling out palliatives to cushion the effect. But of course, a lot of those who are agitating for the removal before were now the ones going back to TV again to say it should be brought back. But what I found disappointing is the journalists at those TV stations who interviewed them before and knew their stand at the time. When they came now to change their tunes, none of them asked them why. Because if I'm talking about something yesterday and today I'm changing my tunes, whoever is talking to me should be able to ask me, why are you changing your tune? What's the reason for that? Well, I think the reason has been specified by Special Guest before he left, that many of them were benefiting from it. Perhaps maybe unbeknown to them at the time, that unbeknown to some of them at the time that they were benefiting from it. But as soon as it was removed, that was when it dawned on them that, oh, so all this largesse that we were getting from our benefactors were a result of this subsidy. You know, and like Yorubas will say, enutufe tell it work benching. The mask don't wide before. The mask were wide before now, don't they dry now? So that's why they want us to go back to Egypt. But as far as I know, or as far as I'm concerned, there's no going back on that issue. And I think that is one of the reasons why like a special guest said, many of the governors are now trooping back, especially the opposition are now trooping into APC, because the removal of the subsidy has now meant that the federal government is now having more money in its kitty. And I was discussing with somebody the other day that he had said the president could easily have sat on the money and said he wants to use it for federal projects. and nobody would have begrudged him because he's the one who made the decision, and he was the one who got the blowback alone, for that decision. But he decided, no, let me spread out this thing so that the dividends of democracy can permeate throughout the rural area so that people can benefit from it. But then the issue is, are the governors who are getting all this, are they doing the needful? And somebody asked me a question again, that why didn't the president do something about it? And I'm like, hello, we have separation of powers in this country. Our president, though powerful, but his powers are limited. There are certain things he cannot do. I think he's done what he should do, which is telling Nigerians that take your governors to account. He said it many times on TV. He said, I've done my part by giving them money, for them to look after their own people. So if they're not doing it, you go and ask them, what are they doing with the money? And that is one of the reasons why every month, as soon as they share the money at FAAC, they publish it so that you know how much your governor gets. So that no governor will come to you and say, oh, we don't get money, we don't get money. I remembered. You see, this is why I said some of our people, they have this selective amnesia. I remember when Jonathan was in government, at the time of plenty, when our oil was being sold for $84 to a barrel, we had money at the time. Yet Jonathan was borrowing money to pay salaries. Go and fact check what I'm saying. He was borrowing money from international banks to pay salary. People did not shout then, but now that when this government have paid up most of the few debts at IMF, but they are borrowing now for infrastructure, because for anybody who's savvy with business and stuff like that will know that you cannot run your business solely on your own savings. You'll have to borrow. What is wrong with borrowing is if you are borrowing that money and you are not investing it in something that will accrue benefit to the country or to the populace. That is where the problem is. But they are borrowing now for infrastructures, and yet people are complaining. But they were not complaining when they were borrowing money to pay their salaries, because you see, many people, instead of them sowing their seed, they prefer to eat the seed, which was what Jonathan was doing at the time, because the money that he was borrowing could have been used, in developing infrastructure at the time. That was not done. But the reason people were not complaining at the time was because they were getting money regularly, to pay their salary. So it's a case of Amuri Baku. I'm not sure how to translate that in English now. Sorry, pardon me, those who does not understand Yoruba language. It's just a way of saying, so long as I'm satisfied, I don't care who else is not. Yeah, I'm just paraphrasing it now. So long as I'm satisfied, I don't care who else is not satisfied. So that was the mindset of Nigerians at the time, and that was why they were not complaining that no infrastructure everything was all of our infrastructures were decaying at the time, but nobody said anything because they were collecting their salary as at when due. But now, even though they are still getting their salaries, but because the kind of largesse that they were getting at the time was no longer forthcoming, everybody is now shouting Ibn Power. Everybody is now shouting we are hungry. People who left government 2 years ago, they were shouting Ibn Power. Then a month after that, they did a flamboyant wedding for one of their children. The same person who said Ibn Power just 2 years when he was out of job. A month or two after, he did. You need to see the video for you to know the extent that some of these elites will go to destabilize the country. They're forgetting that Onun Yabo. How do I? They said when the heavens are falling, nobody will escape. They forget that if you cause the heaven to fall, it will fall on you too. You can't escape it. But they don't know that because they believe because they have private jets, if anything happens from Nigeria, they can fly. But they forgot. And that was what COVID-19 taught everybody. Because at the time, even those who had private jets couldn't travel out of the country. So how about that? So this is the issue for us. So I think we as Nigerians, we need, you see, like I've always said, people say the leadership are the problem, but I keep saying no. Our mindset is the problem. Because both the leadership and the followership will have the same mindset. And the mindset is about me, 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 me alone. Nobody's thinking about the collective anymore. When we start to think about the collective, for those of us who live abroad, we understand that concept, because that is what is keeping this part of the world succeeding. Because even though those who are at the top, you know, they have their own ways of doing stuff, but then the fact remains that they are always looking after the welfare of everybody else. And that is why in some of these countries, now, even if you don't have a job, unless you don't have your papers, the government will look after you one way or the other. It may not be enough, but at least it's something. You know? So this is what I'm saying. The problem with Nigeria is our mindset. The day an average Nigerian changes his mindset and begins to think about everybody else and not just me, because when you think about everybody else, you yourself will be included in that everybody else we're talking about. And that is when life will be safe. But the moment it is just all about you alone, you will create more enemies for yourself, because a lot of people who are meant to enjoy from what you are converting to yourself alone, they will not look at you mercifully. When they are looking at you, they are looking at how to injure you, how to wound you, and get what you have. Because that is the scenario you are creating by your me attitude. So that is why, for me, I can't help to continue to advocate for that every Nigerian must begin to think now about the collective, not just about me alone. Because Nigeria belongs to all of us, and if you cause the heavens to fall, the heavens will not spare anybody. Our time is almost gone now. We have 10 minutes to go now. We'll just wait if we can hear from our special guest. If not, I can guarantee you he has given me his word that he will come again. Maybe not on this topic, but maybe for another topic, because he is a man that I respect a lot. He is a man that I look up to, that he makes advocacy, legal advocacy, looks easy. You can see how the way he's been talking to us. There's no question, a legal question that you bring to him that he will pieces it and bring it all back together again, and you'll be relieved by the time he finishes. So he's giving us his word that he will come back again. As I remember, he was with us in, was it June, when we were talking about there was an issue that we were treating that has to do with legal as well. He was the one we ran to, and he came and he dissected the issue. I can't remember the issue. When I remember, I'll say it.
About the local government.
The local government issue. He came and thrashed it out seriously. Even me as a lawyer, I felt relieved to after he spoke. So those are the kind of people that I think we as Nigerians should be listening to, not the articles of this world, not the obese of this world, not the what's the transport secretary's name, not the ametis of this world, because those people now stomach infrastructure they sabi. The moment they are out of, they take their hands off the cookie jar, you see them, they'll begin to chant, they'll begin to throw tantrum. Same thing with El Rufai too. This is the man who's been in government for almost 30 years, but the moment he was out of reckoning, he wasn't chosen for ministerial. We all see what he's been doing. That says a lot about such people. That is why I will never listen to such people, and I pity anybody who listens to them. I pity anybody who listens to them, because those people, they don't send anybody. Now only themselves they know. When they get there tomorrow, trust me, they don't send you. Even if you vote for them, they don't send you. They only know about themselves and their immediate family alone. Yeah, that is why his own son now is one of the excellencies in Abuja too. You know, and that one he's been busy abusing everybody. What is noble about that? I don't know, but that's the kind of people that some people listen to. That's the kind of people that some people see as role model. So I just hope that with the little that we are getting from this program, we'll be able to imbibe it and make sure that we allow it to inform the way we begin to see this country. Because for me, I have no other country. Forget say I live for UK. Now Nigeria gongomi abi. Everybody around me knows that I've been Nigeria to the core, and that is my country. And that is why I'm very passionate about the progress of that country. That is why anybody who is at the helm of affairs, so long as that person or those group of people are doing what I think or I believe will benefit the country in the long run, even if it's bringing temporary pain, so long as I believe that will bring a lasting progress for the country, I'm all for them. This UK way we did, it wasn't like this before now. There were times when they were rationing food here. Ask anybody, go and Google it. There were times when they were, even the Queen at the time was rationing food in this country, in this UK, not too long ago.
Definitely.
So they too went through their own wilderness, if you like to, if I may use that word. So if we are going through that wilderness now, the only thing that will get me worried is if the people who have at the end at the helm of affairs don't seem to know what they are doing. But for as long, any rightful thinking Nigerian today will look at what is happening now as a recipe for progress for the country in the very near future. It is no longer far anymore now. If it seemed far a year ago, it no longer seems far to me anymore now. I can see that by this time next year, we'll be singing a very different and sonorous song. Mark my words. Maybe on this program, I want everybody to take me up on it, and I'll be free to debate it. So on that note, I think it's 6 minutes to 8. Unless our special guest brings in his next 2 minutes, we will be rounding up. It's been nice having you all here today, and thank you so much for keeping the faith with us. It's not been easy bringing this program to you every week, but like I said at the beginning, the fact that we know that you guys are always there for us and with us, that is what gives us every time I wake up in the morning, even if I feel tired, by the time I think of the people who are always there, people who call us outside this program to say, well done, we like what you are doing, people who write into our chat room to greet us, all of those things are the things that is making us to say, you know what, even though we are tired, we shouldn't retire. We have to keep going, because not for our own benefit, but for the benefit of the country. Because like I've said it many times, now I don't want to wake up tomorrow and my children ask me that, Daddy, when Nigeria was going back, what did you do? Yeah, I want to be able to beat my chest to say, you know what, I did my little best, and I want to be able to point. If I don't get 1 or 2 video, I'll say, okay, look at this video, look at that video. That's me trying to do my little best, the best way I know how. I don't know any other way than to encourage everybody else to make sure that we make Nigeria work for everybody else. That is why, as long as I see somebody who is doing the needful, who is trying to make the country better, I will not, even if now I will say be, I will support them. Because me, I don't do politics of ethnicity. My own politics is who is going to make Nigeria better. That's the kind of politics that I do. And that was why at the beginning I was in support of Buhari, even till the end. It's unfortunate that he surrounds himself with certain people that I don't want to talk about too much. But whether we like it or not, he did his best before he passed to glory. So we have to give him his flowers too, But then we have somebody now who's trying to take that a notch higher, or a notch or two higher, to make sure that he leaves a legacy. I was saying to somebody, this man is just ready to leave a legacy, no more, no less. Whether you believe it or not, I can see from all his actions that now that he wants, when he passed to glory, people will look back and say, this man tried, even though at the time they complain, but the man tried. Because the Bible says a prophet is not what's it called? It's not recognized even in his own town. But I believe that as time goes on, we will begin to see the benefit of what is causing a being power that people were. I think there was a program we did a couple of weeks ago here when somebody was saying, when I was talking about the price of things coming down, and the guy was was trying to counter me on the chat room when I said I bought a bag of rice cheaper than it was a year ago, and he said no, he bought it for 75,000, and I countered him again. I said, well, if you bought it for 75,000, before then it was 110,000. So is that not coming down? So what's your argument? You know, so these are some people like to live in denial. So until they begin to give you a bag of rice for free, and at that time you're going to say they come down. If something came down from 110,000 to 75,000, I mean, that is a serious come down. We want you to come down more, but let's give flowers where it is due. Huh? And you basically would say, you can't shame me. I beg, this is my Yoruba word it talks. Sometimes it with me. You say, when somebody do small thing, make you thank him. So that when you thank him, you go do big one next time. I'm sure I paraphrase that well. You know, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But I believe strongly in my soul that Nigeria will better end in my own lifetime. Because me, I want to make a chop ham when the soup done. Me, I want chop from inside out. That is why I support that which is good. Yeah. So I believe that God will continue to see our president through as he's going through this, taking us through these turbulent waters. That at the end of the day, we will bath on a still water, on a still and calm water, and the country will be the better for it. So 1 minute to 8. I think it is okay for us to draw the curtain now. But like I said, our chief host has given us his word. Sorry, our special guest has given us his word that he will come back next time. We will find a very, very good topic for him to discuss again. But before I go, I need to recognize the presence of some stakeholders and leaders from across the world who are always joining us every week. Let me start from my father from America. It's Professor Adesegun Labinjo. Thank you so very much. He's the chairman of the Renewed Hope in the USA. Thank you so very much, sir. Another stakeholder from here in the UK, Alhaja Aula Sule. Thank you so very much, ma. And High Chief Chris Onumonu, the Igwe of London. Thank you so very much, sir, for being part of this. Dr. Tomori, what can I say to you, sir? What can I say to you, sir? This man has been a pillar for me as far as this program is concerned. He knows what I'm talking about. So for that, I say thank you so very much, sir. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. We'll talk after this program. Thank you so very much. And Engineer Olabode Ajimijore Jones from Russia, thank you so very much. You are always there for us every week without fail. May God continue to be with you. Engineer Felix Ajayi, I don't see you last week. What happened? Huh? I beg you, would they miss you anytime when you don't come home, because your contribution is always on point. Thank you so very much. We would like to see you again. The G6, the great G6 from the G6 APC ECOWAS in diaspora. Thank you so very much. G6 means 6 countries from the ECOWAS, Benin Republic, Togo. And the rest, my geography don't fail me, I beg. Okay, you just know the G6. They're from West Africa. Thank you so very much, sir, for being part of this program. Venerable Gabriel Shude, our Father in the Lord, who is always praying for us. Thank you so very much, sir. May your anointing continue to increase day by day. Otumba Dapo Habib O2, the one and only O2. Thank you so very much, sir. And last but not the least, Engineer Babani Bola from South Africa. Thank you so very much for being part of this program. Let me have a look, because I jotted this down a while ago. If there's anyone that I missed out, please don't be offended. It's just that sometimes the pressure of this job is such that sometimes you forget certain things. You see how sometimes I model certain names up here. It is due to stress. Don't worry, I know how to distress after the program. When the program is done, I will go and distress with Amala and Ewedu. Thank you so very much, everybody, for being part of this program. So before we close, let me just call on Dr. Damagum to give us the closing remarks. Dr. Damagum, where are you? So I can ask you to unmute. Dr. Damagum. I see one of our elders too, Ethelbert Onoha. Thank you so very much for being part of this. I'm not sure Dr. Damagum is still with us. I saw him earlier. Saw him earlier, can't find him again. Anyhow, the program has come to the end now. Next week, there won't be a conference next week. The reason is that we are going to the House of Lords here in the UK. We have a program there in the House of Lords on Saturday. You will be seeing the report immediately after that. But I can guarantee you that a week after that, which will be, let me check the dates. A week after that, which will be 1st of November, we will be back with another VVIP who will be discussing another topic with us. So, like I said, please don't forget, next week there will be no conference, but we will be at the House of Lords. We are going there again to propagate Nigeria and to showcase Nigeria as a country where investors are trooping into now against the permutations of the naysayers. A lot of people believe now that Nigeria is the place to be for investment. And that's one of the reasons why we are going to House of Lords next Saturday. You will be seeing the story. You know us. We know how to make that noise when there is need for it. We will let you know why we went there. Maybe either on Sunday or Monday, you will get the report. So thank you so very much on this note. I wish, like I said, I wish you could see my heart, how happy I am every time I see you guys join us here on a Saturday, because I know there are 1,000,001 places where you could be right now, but you chose to be here, not because you don't have anywhere else to go, but because you have the passion for our country, and you know that here we discuss issues that glorifies our country. We discuss issues that brings progress to our country. We'll discuss issues that deals with the problems that we have. And for that, I bless God for your lives, and I pray to God that He, in His infinite mercy, He should continue to bless you all. And when Nigeria becomes a blessed nation, may any of us not be found wanting. We will all stay alive and we'll all enjoy it. I believe that in my soul, and so shall it be. Thank you so very much, and good night.